What's up, guys? It's Carson back here on Toxic Gaming today. And today, guys, we have week 1 of the Pokemon Premier League, the PPL D2. We're back here with this. Hopefully we can do better than last season. If you missed any of our last season stuff, there's a whole playlist on that on the channel. You can go check that out. Everything of the like. If you missed our draft analysis video, that went up, I think, on last Saturday. So, like, if you want to know why our drafts are the way we are, you just see the mons that we have now, what other mons we have to go with it. By all means, it's right there on our draft analysis for you. I will not be doing team builders during PPL this season, simply because I have a lot more stuff going on with school and everything now, and I just really don't have the time to give you guys, I guess, in-depth team builders as I would want. So these beginning parts of PPL stuff are going to do quick overviews of the team that I bring against their drafts, and I will have a PokePaste link down below in the description for the exact EVs, the exact movesets, items, and all of the mons that I bring as well. But for week 1, we actually are going to be facing Bill and his Adelaide, I think it's Adelaide Honchkrows? Honchkrows? I think it's Adelaide. I think I might be saying that right or wrong. I don't know. But we're going against Bill, good friend Bill Standish, dude. His team composed of Celesteela, Sylveon, Gengar, Kommo-o, Porygon 2, Milotic, Piloswine, Zoroark, Electivire, Torkoal, and Cradily, with Kommo-o, Electivire, and Torkoal being his Z users. And his team overall brought back week 1 the bane of my PPL time, being Celesteela. So I was really worried for that, and our draft doesn't have really much that like Celesteela. Like, we have Rotom Wash, who can come in and take the heavy slams pretty well, but if you run Seed Bomb, that'll be annoying. We have Ferrothorn, who can come in and, again, take the heavy slams pretty well, but I can't really do much back to it. I can just kind of outstall with Leech Seed stuff. But, again, if he packs Flame Charge, that's going to be annoying as well later. And then we have Lando T, but I really don't want to have Lando T take the damage for it. So Celesteela was, in my opinion, one of the bigger threats on from his team to us, as well as Kommo-o. Luckily, he doesn't get the Soul Blaze Omni Boost Kommo-o Z move, so that was good. But quick overview just of our team. We have a physically defensive Ferrothorn with the Iron Head, Toxic stuff, Stealth Rock and Leech Seed kind of things, picking the Akaberry just in case there would be Flame Charge thing with Celesteela or anything like that. We have this pairing, the defensive pairing to try to do with Celesteela of Rotom Wash. Just a basic-ass Rotom Wash with Volt Switch, Hydro, and then Defog as well. He's our Defog chosen man for this week. Then we have the mon that starts with the other two, that starts the idea that I had come up with for this week, being Lot Bunny. I was in call with David, and we were trying to figure out ways to make Lot Bunny and like Wish Cash and all that work for these next weeks. Shout out to David. His links are in the description below as well. He's a D2 coach. And he brought up the idea, or I brought up the idea of Z-Splash Lot Bunny, because that's really what I wanted to do with Lot Bunny anyway. And he brought up the idea of using Entrainment Lot Bunny, giving Klutz to Bill's Mons, aiming to give Klutz to either Celesteela and take away Beast Boost, or taking away Marvel Scale from Milotic. Flame Orb Milotic was one of the better things that we saw that could deal with Kangaskhan. It was going to be either Flame Orb or Rocky Helmet. And if we take out the Flame Orb boost for Marvel Scale, that'd be really nice and kind of allows Lot Bunny to kind of deal with it 1v1. I have Facade on the Lot Bunny in case that Milotic wants to try Toxic me or Scald Burn me. And then basically I'm passing the Z-Splash into either Kangaskhan or Lando T on our team. Either one of those two with a +3 in attack does wonders. Speaking of the Kangaskhan, we have our Mega Kangaskhan here. Basically, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch coverage, and Drain Punch. No normal coverage this week, because normal didn't seem the best against him, and we kind of needed Ice Punch for Kommo-o on it coming in. Needed Drain Punch for things like the Cradily, and like Piloswine and the Zoroark, whatever it decided to hide itself into. And then Thunder Punch for Celesteela. We have Wish as well, just if we need to keep ourselves up, we can have that Wish option. Which could become real handy. And then we have Lando T being another offensive Lando T. A little bit of HP investment, but mostly offensive with Earthquake, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Rock Polish. So basically, if we get the +3 into him, he gets scared, switches out, try to go into a counter, and I go into Rock Polishing things. Then all of a sudden, Lando T's a lot more scary. And then pulling up the end of our team is the Latias, Lisa or Latias, with Thunderwave, Psyshock, Roost, and Draco. Basically just dual stab and Thunderwave support. I really didn't know what type of Latias to bring for this matchup, and this seemed the best to just kind of support the actual main threats, being Kangaskhan and Lando. Maybe not having to click Rock Polish with Lando would be a good idea. Helping Kangaskhan out with just the base 100 speed. You know, things like that. That's what my ideas were for Latias. But we see for his team, he's got the Cradilly, the Zoroark, the Piloswine, the Celesteela, the Gengar, and the Komodo. Gengar and Zoroark, I really was intrigued for what he was going to pair those two. Which one, like if Zoroark was going to be hiding as Gengar, that could be something that he could end up doing to try to protect the Zoroark. They get similar move sets, so it's pretty easy to hide them as. The Cradilly, I was a little worried about what it was going to be, like what kind it was going to be, because depending on what Cradilly it was, Ferrothorn could kind of just sit in front of it and Toxic stall it down. Piloswine I wasn't too worried about. I just felt like if I have Lando T set up, I have to, or if I want to set up with Lando T, I have to wait till Piloswine's kind of gone, where I still have my berry, and I'm able to actually kill it with Stone Edge afterwards. Just worry for Ice Shard. And really, the Gengar I knew was just going to be a revenge killer. I just got to bring in whatever mod can come in after it does. It's probably, not Scarf things, probably like Choice Specs Gengar as a good revenge killer for him. But without any further ado and stuff, we're going to go right on into the battle for you guys. Okay, guys, we have the battle here with Bill's going on by the name Ollie. I don't know if he's borrowing a 3DS or just a different name, but he leads off with Spoogles, his incorrectly named Cradilly. Shouldn't be Spoogles. We all know there's only one. And I led off with Ferrothorn just because I felt like it was a decent lead against whatever he had. I could set up rocks, do all those things. And here, he actually goes for his Stealth Rock. And rather than trade rocks turn 1, which I kind of expected us to do, I decided to go right for Iron Head and get damage on this Cradilly early. Because I knew, like, if this was, and I found out here, this is his Rocky Element Mon, if I get as much damage on this early, that means Kangaskhan will be a lot nicer and a lot easier to kill, so maybe we won't even have to deal with Kangaskhan for it. He switches out, though, into his Komodo here, as I believe I took this turn to set up Stealth Rocks. I kind of expected him to switch out. Didn't know what he was going to go into, so I just wanted to get the rocks up now, just in case for anything. And I actually decided to switch out here and kind of be a little bit bold and go into Lando. I had an idea that this probably packed Ice Punch, but I didn't think he was going to click it the first turn it's in against Ferrothorn. It didn't seem like that was a good opportunity for him to quick Ice Punch, and he actually goes for the Drain Punch, and I'm really happy I decided to do this. Weakening his attack, he barely gets any HP back. I think enough to not really do anything because he didn't take damage. But he actually decides to switch out here, going into his Celesteela, and this is where I again pulled a little bit of a switch in case he decided to go for Ice Punch this turn. Or, wait, not this turn. I decided to knock off this turn. That's what I was like, I can live an Ice Punch. That's what I was going for. I'm a turn ahead in my own head. But here I switched out. This is what I was thinking of. And I went into Rotom Wash here, knowing I could take the Heavy Slam, knowing I could take really whatever he wanted to do. And he actually went for the Toxic. I've realized I'm not the most conscientious of when Toxics are going to be dropped early game. So unfortunately, I got Rotom poisoned. But we kind of still have the advantage here as this Celesteela, but I don't feel really wants to stay in against my Rotom, as he really can't do anything to me unless he has one specific move. And here we see he's just going to Protect to scout out what I'm doing, being the Toxic Protect set. And I'm like, oh, this is annoying. I just was going to Volt Switch out and go on things. But we can't do that. So this turn, rather than Volt Switching, as it seemed like I kind of felt like he might think I'm just going to Volt Switch again, just to try to get an initiative back in. He decides to switch into his Piloswine here, which, good play on his part, thinking I'm going to Volt Switch and just stopping me from doing that. I predicted it and went for Willow, and we missed. So that's awesome. That's a good high five to me. If the Willow would have landed, it would have been a lot nicer, because it means really Lando could have lived a lot easier with the Yachi Berry later, and this thing would have had damage on it, and I'm kind of angry about it, but it's the way it is. I decided to swap out now into Ferrothorn, really kind of thinking he's not going to do much to me anyway, as he actually pulls the double and goes into his Spoogles again, the Cradilly, and here I know I kind of have the matchup. Like, I can freely quick Toxic right now, and I doubt the Celesteela is coming back in or anything, but he actually goes for the Recover, and I was like, okay, so that's his healing on this. I kind of forgot this thing got Recover. But I decided to go for Leech Seed instead, thinking he might be switching out and didn't think he was going to want to take a Toxic. So I'm predicting a little bit too hard, but now he goes in the Felgrand, his Como again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for another Leech Seed. I decided to be a little bit ballsy and go for the double seed, and it paid off for me. Ballsy and stupid are both sometimes the same thing. But it paid off, and we got this thing seeded. It's really nice to be able to have this thing of all things seeded just to wear it down. And I was kind of thinking he might go for the Ice Punch again, but he decides to set up the Dragon Dance this turn. I guess because I showed Lando earlier, I figured he might go for Ice Punch now, and I didn't want to lose Lando. So I decided to actually stay in and Toxic this turn. Willing to take an Ice Punch if he decided to go for it. I think I could take one Drain Punch from here pretty well, but he actually gets set up into the D-Dance, and I'm like, okay, I kind of got away with staying in right here, and I'm at the HP now where I can really get away with staying in again. Like, I'm at max, he can't knock me out with a Drain Punch. If he has the close combat, then we're a problem, but he can't knock me out with anything. I decide here to switch out into Lando this time, both lowering his attack back to normal, but again, baiting him to do quick the Drain Punch with Pharaoh for staying in. I wanted to try to stay in to draw him into Drain Punch, and he clicks it again, which was super nice. And thankfully, even though he's at normal attack rather than -1, he's not going to get a whole lot of HP back. And really, the HP he gets back, I'm going to be taking with Leech Seed and with Poison Toxic damage on top of that. So really, I don't feel like I lost much by bringing in Lando. I am kind of weak to where I would want to be to sweep, but I feel like we're okay with it. And here again, I wanted to see if he had Ice Punch, going back into Pharaoh, and either he was going to switch out a quick Ice Punch. That's what I expected him to do. I get Pharaoh back in here against it, and he does show the Ice Punch. So I feel like I'm just like both scouting out what this Como can do. I think we know 3 of its 4 moves so far, and I'm really happy with the position I'm at. It's really weak. The Toxic damage is racking up nice. My Pharaoh is at a good amount of health. I decided here I'm going to stay in, just go for an Iron Head. He'll probably switch out or die to Toxic. He decides to Drain Punch. Okay, we take that extremely well for what I kind of expected. And you'll see here, thanks to Iron Barb's damage, which is something I kind of forgot about racking up damage on him, and plus an Iron Head, Pharaoh actually picks up the kill without having to get Leech Seed or Poison Toxic damage. I'm kind of sad. I wish I could have got a little bit of health back from Leech Seed, but that's unfortunate. He decides to go here into his Gengar, and here I was wondering if he was going to do Flamethrower and reveal Zoroark, or go Focus Blast like he did, and try to bluff more that it is Gengar. So I decided to stay in and make him have to risk a Focus Miss to do anything, or live a Flamethrower. I died to Focus Blast hitting. It's the way it goes. I now decided to go into Lisa, my Latias, betting that he's a choice Gengar, and I have no reason to not be in here, or a choice Zoroark. He has no reason to stay in. I'm going to stay in and just kind of click a move. Really didn't matter when I clicked. I think I decided to I decided to switch out. That's what it was. I was really trying to see what could happen, but I decided to switch out here into Rotom. I'm glad I got this kind of switch right. I'm sad I can't take the poison damage and the rocks damage and all that, but I got the switch right, so we have a matchup back to where we kind of want to be with Rotom in front of Celesteela, especially Celesteela this low in damage. I just thought he was going to switch out again, so I'm pulling another double. There's a lot of switches here, but this was where Lot Bunny could come in and click entrainment, and we'd be in an okay position. He protected it and it failed, and I kind of forgot that this turn he could protect. For some reason, I thought protect, like, even though it failed, it counted as a turn for some reason. And I actually went for the entrainment like the plan was going to be. It doesn't work, anything like that. So I'm like, okay, it really doesn't matter if he stays in or not. I'm going to click this again. Go for the entrainment, get rid of his Beast Boost, and giving him the Klutz ability. So now whatever item he has doesn't work, which we saw as leftovers. He no longer gets leftovers recovery. He will Leech Seed me here. And here, after this turn, is where I kind of misplayed pretty hard. I should have just swapped out to get rid of the Leech Seed on him. I really should have swapped out to get a Leech Seed on him. But at the time, I was like, okay, I have this plan. I know what I'm going to do with the Z-Splash. I need to go with it. And like before in other battles, I've second-guessed my plans, and it's not worked out for me. So I was more hard-headed than I should have been, and stick to my plan of Z-Splash and everything like that. And he actually goes for the double Leech Seed, expecting me to probably switch out to get rid of Leech Seed to keep it up on his end. And as you can see, Celesteela's kind of slowly getting more HP, and that's really not a good thing for us. I go for the Baton Pass. I'm going to be passing it into my Mega Kangaskhan. And I really didn't know what he was going to go. I kind of expected Toxic, but I was like, I really don't care if I'm Toxic. I'm okay with it, I guess. But he just goes right for the Heavy Slam, and I was like, oh, well, that's definitely a thing he can do. And I take a way big chunk of damage, way more than I should, plus Leech Seed Recovery. And this whole set of turns is where I kind of fell off the wheels, and it shouldn't have worked. I shouldn't have done that, hindsight looking. Here, I decided to go for a Thunder Punch, thinking he would stay in and try to just, protect spam me or something. But I kind of forgot that this thing was here, and forgot that this was his Rocky Helmet Mon. And by Mega Evolving, going for Thunder Punch, it's going to do a lot more damage to me than I'm going to do to it. If I would have played just kind of a neutral hitting Rain Punch, I believe I could have knocked this thing out, if not stayed alive to knock it out the next turn. But Thunder Punch is, unfortunately, due to the Rocky Helmet and the 2 hits, going to take out my Mega Kang. Again, whole series of moves right there that started with me just leaving in Lot Bunny on the Leech Seed that made Mega Kang end up dying. Really sad thoughts. I'm going out into Latias just because I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try to click moves now and see what happens. Like, this was kind of the point where I was like, I'm probably not doing well. My best strategy to take care of the Celesteela is gone, and that's not good. He's just going to recover off the Side Shock damage. I didn't know if Draco was going to do anything. I didn't want him to switch into something that was just going to take the Draco and not care. But I just went for the Side Shock anyway. Yeah, so now we're not looking too good. It seems like the battle is still in our favor, but we're really not looking too good. I kind of expected to switch out into the Celesteela here on the Draco, and that's why I went for the T-Wave, just to get him to have to flip a die each turn, or flip a coin each turn. But he goes for the Toxic instead and just takes the T-Wave with the Cradillia, and I now have a Toxic Latias. Again, kind of rolling towards, I'm still remembering those Leech Seed turns, and it's not really good for me, which is really unfortunate, because now it becomes a matter of time now of Celesteela being able to just kind of wear down my team, unless I get some good damage off here with Rotom, and good damage with Lando down the line. He does get paralyzed this turn, which is really nice to have Rotom come in and not take a hit. But Rotom here, I'm kind of worried about what's going to happen. And I was kind of worried here. I was like, okay, I'll be able to Volt Switch and get some initiative, stuff like that. But I decided to defog instead, get rid of Rocks so that maybe the Rocks plus Toxic damage stuff wouldn't be actually killing my whole team. And I could keep that damage taking and that chipping down to a minimum. He goes right for the Ancient Power. And it's an Ancient Power. I was hoping for no boosts. And luckily, he did not get them. Right now, Rotom's at kind of not the health where I want him to be able to deal with Celesteela. Like, I have a chance, I think, to Volt Switch twice on Celesteela and have a chance to kill it. But so here I decided to Volt Switch, get Rotom out of there as quickly as possible. And going into, I believe here, I go into Lando. And I'm just going to be starting firing off some Earthquakes at this thing. Just get some hard damage going as much as I really can. He goes right for the Ancient Power again. It's doing Ancient Power things. It's for my Cradillia. It does a decent chunk of damage, but he still doesn't get any boosts. So here he decides to switch out the Cradillia, which was a good switch on his part, going back into the Celesteela, probably thinking I can't touch him with anything. And really my best thing to touch him with anything was Stone Edge. I was just clicking Earthquake to get damage. I was just kind of trying to hit what was in front of me. I knew here I needed to intimidate this thing to have any good chance of actually living attacks from it. But he just goes right for the Leech Seed on my incoming Latias. Again, bulky Celesteela doing bulky Celesteela things, and it's really unfortunate for my team this week. Like, I, again, go back to giving Celesteela so much free health thanks to Lot Bunny and Kangaskhan that I'm really sad about. But really, there's not much I can do here. My team is pretty weak to where Celesteela really doesn't need to switch out now, and I have to try to force that as much as possible. I swapped in Rotom here. I feel like I probably should have let Latias go down and brought Rotom in clean, rather than having to take this Heavy Slam, because, like, Heavy Slam plus this poison damage here is going to hurt a lot, and it means I probably won't be able to come back in later and get a good Volt Switch off. So here I decided I'm just going to go for it, but he actually protects on the Volt Switch. This was where I kind of, again, forgot he had Protect, and I tried to Willow, that's what it was. I was going to burn him to try to lower the damage from Heavy Slam down. Again, I'm talking like I should be clicking Volt Switch here, but either way, it didn't matter. He's just racking up the Toxic damage. Like, I'm not in a good shape with my Rotom. He's going to go for another Protect and get the double Protect. which I can't be mad about. It's really the best play to be able to kill this Rotom without it doing literally anything to Celesteela. So kudos for Bill for that, like getting that double protect. That was cool. But Rotom is sadly going to go down to the Toxic. What did I get Toxic by? I can't even remember. Might have been the Cradilly. Might have been the Cradilly. I can't remember. Might have been this thing for all I fucking know. But here I just go into the Wild Bunny. I'm like, I'm just, right now, I feel like I've kind of lost it. I'm going to take away Beast Boost just so he doesn't get any actual boost to anything. Luckily, the Toxic damage worn down there didn't give him a Beast Boost to anything. And, like, here's, this end of the battle is not fun. I'm just going to say it. This end of the battle is not fun. It's just watching a Celesteela slowly suck the life out of my team. And it's really unfortunate. This thing, I had it on the ropes. I had it under half. I had the plan working, ready to go. But, unfortunately, this thing got the better of me once again. And like I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to, you know, intimidate it as much as I can, take as many hits as I could, but holy shit, that Heavy Slam still did a lot, even after being intimidated. I needed like a double crit here to do anything real good to this. I still get a crit and it doesn't even bring it to half. So, yeah. This is Celesteela doing shitty-ass Celesteela things to me. And, yeah, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. And it's unfortunate that this season's going to start off like this, but what can you do, right? I tried to stay, you know, up to beat, but being in P4G, and that's not going great, and it ended up kind of sinking into this. So hopefully we're going to be able to push a reset button here going forward and do some better things. My Latias, I feel like if my Latias was more Bolt Beam combo, or instead of Thunder Wave I just had T-Bolt, I'd be able to actually touch the Celesteela. It's one thing I didn't think about. I thought I really had enough with it, with Kangaskhan plus Rotom plus Lando being able to clean up later. It seemed like I was going to have enough with that. In a mock I did, like way before this battle actually happened, the Mega Kangaskhan getting +3 was game during that mock. Like, it just didn't even matter. But, so that's why I was kind of really leaning heavily to it. I didn't think the Latias set was going to make that big of a difference to have T-Wave over an offensive move to deal with Celesteela. And as we can see, I'm kind of wrong. I'm just clicking damage moves because I really don't want the game to go super long. As far as me trying to, like, roost stall toxic damage and just go back and forth when it's really... Even if Celesteela goes down, Zoroark can clean me up. Gengar can clean up. Like, it really doesn't matter at this point for who actually is going to end up winning. Bill will take it. Here, I'm just, again, clicking Splash for style points. Just a little Splash style points there. And he does just go for the Heavy Slam. Like, I figured Bill was just going to click it till the game was done. I thought it was going to kill. That's one reason I went for Splash. I figured it was going to be the last move. I was like, oh, let's see what a Facade can do against this thing. Nothing. That's great. But he will get the final kill with Celesteela and killing Lap Bunny. Really unfortunate for us. Really, really super unfortunate for us. To start off our season like this, get the hard 5-0 beat down from Bill and his team. Good game to him and everything still. Like, he definitely prepped, I feel like, better with using Celesteela than I prepped to face it overall. And I learned from this battle that really there will be more opportunities to work a plan I have rather than just first one I need to do this. As we saw with, again, Loud Bunny idea failing, which is really sad. But it was a cool idea. It would have worked in premise. After we talked about it, the battle afterwards, it was like it really could have worked, but it was just I fucked up using it. So hopefully we go better going forward. Next week we will have Sly and his Pittsburgh Pyroars and things like that. Make sure you go check out all the coaches in the description, all their battles going up today. This is a real big, exciting thing for PPL. It's one of my favorite leagues because it's one my friends are in. And we get to have fun and do fun things like this. So, anyway, thank you guys for coming out. I'm Carson, this is Toxic Gaming. And as always, you guys stay toxic. I'll see you guys.